Approximately 80% of drivers believe they are above average drivers. Brush their teeth. People brush them too hard, which erodes the gums and accelerates the destruction of enamel. I'm guilty of this too. Don't press too hard. In general, dentists now recommend electric toothbrushes because they do everything themselves. You just need to hold them near your teeth. A huge number of people misuse neck pillows on airplanes. The open part should be at the back, where the back of the seat is. You don't need extra support. If you put it on correctly, your head will not fall forward and you will not wake up, as the pillow will prevent it from falling. Read, not in the general sense, but for example, when discussing a new law or regulation. People usually don't read the document itself, but rely on a retelling. The same goes for various politicians and rules. It's hard not to fall for it. There is so much to read, but we just don't have the time or energy to understand the legal language. The scariest thing is that many officials don't even read the laws they sign. Wash hands. Surprisingly, many people don't know how to wash their hands properly. They apply soap to dry skin and lather it under water. You don't wash them at all like that. Your hands are still disgustingly dirty. Please don't come near me. I am shocked and horrified by how many times I have had to see people in public restrooms quickly run their hands underwater without soap, without rubbing, and leave as if they had done everything correctly. People have really dirty hands. Don't touch me. Argue. Modern media has shown us that the best way to argue is to yell and throw accusations. I am shocked by the amount of logical errors and aggressive reactions I encounter just trying to get a point across. People use a lot of false arguments and often substitute concepts, not responding to real statements, but diverting the conversation to the side. And if they don't get what they want right away, they accuse the person of just wanting to win the argument without ever refuting their point of view or presenting a worthy counter-argument. When you make a small reservation, a technical error, or something insignificant in an argument, the other person focuses on it, trying to devalue everything you say. Load dishwashers. The Technology Connections channel has a cool video on how dishwashers work. Some of my friends complain that their dishwasher doesn't wash well, but they violate almost all the recommendations from this video. 2 key things I learned from these kinds of videos. A. For an effective first wash phase, it is better to run hot water from the tap in advance to heat the system. B. Since there are 2 cycles in the machine, you need to use detergent in both sections, and capsules only work in the second stage. I didn't have any particular problems with the dishwasher, but following these tips eliminated even the rare cases where something didn't wash well. Please don't return library books to the shelf where you took them from. Most often, it is better to leave them on a special cart, on a table, or take them to the administrator's desk, depending on the library. We scan books that have been used without registration in order to include them in the statistics. This helps us prove the library's busyness and understand which books are of interest to the community. At the same time, the information is recorded anonymously. We do not collect any user data. I always thought that the "do not return books to the shelf" sign was hanging simply because people are not able to put them in the right place. I never thought about usage statistics. This information needs to be disseminated. Used cotton swabs. I confess, I am also guilty. As long as you don't puncture your eardrum, there is no problem. Warnings on packaging have been added to protect corporations from lawsuits from Americans who like to sue. Assess risks. People worry about unlikely threats, ignoring those that actually pose a danger. If everyone in the U.S. correctly assessed the risks, they would be much more afraid of cars and a sedentary lifestyle, and much less afraid of terrorists and sharks, for example. Use critical thinking. Learn to think for yourself about what is happening around you and what you hear. Connect your thoughts just for fun. Compare one fact with another. Critical thinking is when you don't take everything for granted. People who notice things that you don't notice don't go into excessive reflection. They just think. They may be wrong, but it's still helpful. Much better than treating things lightly. Much better than just taking everything as it is. Pronounce espresso instead of espresso. I'm looking at my fellow men. Guys, we have serious problems. We wash badly. I always wondered why my water procedures took me longer than other guys I knew. It seemed to me that there was some kind of magic life hack that would allow you to wash completely in 30 seconds. When I started to understand this topic, I was horrified to realize that many men simply don't wash their ass, legs, and feet. They stupidly stand under the shower, hoping that the flowing water with soap will clean everything by itself. And why do so many people have such a clamp about their own ass? Just take it and wash your crotch properly. This is one of the dirtiest areas on the body. Smell and bacteria accumulate there. You think that rubbing soap there is gross, but just wetting the dirt and wiping it off is normal? Seriously? When my wife and I started living together, she noticed that I took a long shower, although not actually longer than her. But after explaining to her that many men simply don't wash normally, I literally saw her putting together a puzzle in her head about all the men before me. After that, she never said anything to me about my shower routine. What does freedom of speech really mean? Oh my God, yes, the same goes for discrimination. There was some artist who threw a fit arguing about discrimination and censorship because the gallery refused to make his works the centerpiece of the exhibition and spend money on promotion. Like, they still exhibited his works, they just weren't the focus. Companies physically cannot violate the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution because it only applies to the government. And with the existence of the internet, it is even more difficult to talk about censorship. You can just create a website and write whatever you want there. But FB and Google are not obligated to broadcast someone's stupidity. Use commas when they are not needed. After brushing your teeth, you don't need to rinse your mouth. The fluoride should remain on your teeth. I don't care. I won't be able to live in peace if I don't rinse my mouth after brushing my teeth. Eat. Our general knowledge of nutrition is 90% misinformation. It is better to just listen to your body and monitor how different foods affect you. This is more useful than most fad diets. Flush the toilet with the lid open. My husband recently asked why I always close the lid before flushing. He thinks touching the lid is yucky. I explained that it's not yucky because I disinfect it regularly. And also, because by closing the lid before flushing, I significantly reduce the amount of poop particles that fly all over the bathroom, unlike him. Most people lose weight incorrectly. Sport doesn't play a big role in losing weight, although it is important for health. It's all about nutrition. More calories must be burned than consumed. Paint their houses. Stop rolling dry with a roller. If you have to press on the roller to get something out of it, then it's time to dip it in paint. Roll the roller from ceiling to floor in one motion, otherwise there will be spots of different shades on the wall. Don't go around the outlets, but remove them and roll the roller over the holes. Remove the masking tape before the paint is completely dry, otherwise it will tear off pieces of paint at the corners. Walk. I work in a mall and get there by subway. So many idiots get off the escalator and stop to tie their shoelaces, write messages right where people are walking. It's just unbearable. Put on the toilet paper roll incorrectly. There are two types of people. Those who firmly believe that paper should unwind from the front, those who don't care. These people always turn out to be either spouses or roommates. Profess Christianity. There is a difference between just going to church and applying the lessons learned there to life. More specifically, any church that doesn't feed the hungry, doesn't house the homeless, doesn't accept refugees, doesn't visit prisoners, and so on, doesn't build the kingdom of God. Christianity without social work is like Buddhism without meditation or a Vach cult without drinking and hot minutes. What's the point? Bury tomatoes in the refrigerator. Tomatoes have an enzyme that reacts to cold, destroying cell membranes. The result is a loose cotton wool vegetable. Many people say they are jealous when they are actually envious. Envy is when someone has something you want. For example, if someone found a new boyfriend and you wish he was with you, then it's envy, not jealousy. Jealousy is when you already have something and you are afraid that someone else will take it away. For example, if you have a boyfriend and some girl at the bar is flirting with him, then that's jealousy. Somewhere in your car, there is a switch that adjusts the angle of the low-beam headlights. In modern Fords, this is the center button in the middle of the headlight switch.